Haiyan super typhoon wreaks havoc in the Philippines. A huge cyclone whose wind gusts exceed 300 kilometers per hour. And huge waves devastate the coasts. Haiyan hits nearly 10 million people. Of those, 600,000 are left homeless. For Marinelle, 16 years old at the time, it's the beginning of a long struggle.
I don't want to see my community and my family being in this situation again. Seeing the devastation, seeing our house been washed out, seeing all of these people trying hard to survive and just getting literally everything in the ocean, it awakened me like I need to do something. So I don't want just to sit there and play and do nothing and just wait for another disaster to come and just be a victim of all my life. This is not a battle that we will face in the future. This is a battle that we need to face now in the present.
Scientists are adamant that climate change is caused by human activity. While it affects populations all around the globe, the countries of the south are the first victims. Starting with African countries whose greenhouse gas emissions are negligible. This is precisely what worries Elizabeth.
A lot of people have been saying that Africa will be the hardest hit by climate change, but the reality is that we are already facing the impacts. Just a few months ago, we had the aspect of the floods and the droughts and mudslides. So we've actually had the worst outbreak of locusts in 25 years.
Kenya, where Elizabeth lives, is suffering the violent consequences of these changes. Because of the increase in the amount of rainfall, billions of locusts have invaded the country.
We fear it a lot because it has never happened ever since we came to this place. It is the first of a kind and it is so terrifying.
These swarms of insects, 60 kilometers long and 40 kilometers wide, destroy everything in their path. In a single day, these locusts can devour the agricultural production that would be consumed by 80 million people.
I actually come from one of the regions in Kenya that is mostly dependent on agriculture. So you can imagine what kind of damage this means for the African continent.
These phenomena are not unique to Kenya. In West Africa, in Niger, the rainfall is getting more and more irregular, often followed by severe droughts. This directly threatens the survival of the herds, which are raised by the nomads of the Fulani people. Once again, the life of humans as we know it could be seriously threatened.
Albarka jawduno dum gam minon waynabe fu rayuwa mum do woni e jawdi do woni seede ma do woni gawri ma do woni koltal ma kanjum woni albarka jawdi ko garda wadi fu say e majji ga wala kotte do.
On the other side of the world, in the Amazon, Helena is also witnessing a major change in the climate. And for her, the drought that now threatens Latin America is no coincidence.
Una consecuencia también del cambio climático. Ahora que viene una época de sequía en Ecuador que va a hacer mucho calor, los ríos van a secarse totalmente. Ya vimos el anterior año, yo nunca he visto eso en mi vida. Mis mayores lo notan bastante, dicen que es totalmente diferente de cómo crecieron ellos.
These phenomena are becoming more frequent, more intense, and there are numerous consequences. While some countries are suffering the full force of the heat wave, others are victims of terrible floods and landslides. In June 2013, in Uttarakhand, a small state in northern India at the foot of the Himalayas, a violent monsoon caused dams to break, and with them came torrents of mud. At the age of 12, Ridima has a sad memory of this disaster.
At that time, because of that flood, there was a huge area lost. It washed away many houses, and many animals and people were killed during that flood.
This huge flood killed 1,000 people and displaced another 70,000.
Many kids were crying for their parents, like, I lost my mom, I lost my dad, and I lost my home. What should I do now? I don't know what to do. I want my mom and I want my dad. So at that time I felt very bad.
More than 5,000 deaths have been recorded in India in 2013 alone, the worst natural disaster of the decade.
So our questions came in my mind, and again a thing popped up that who was responsible for that? And so my parents told me that we are responsible.
As with heat waves, typhoons or floods, scientists say there is also a link between rising temperatures and the intensity of fires. In 2019, huge fires destroyed more than 8 million hectares in Australia.
My main thing is I just want to be alive and for all of us to be safe. I really don't have any feelings about my house at the moment at all.
These mega fires have killed 24 people, and it's estimated that more than 1 billion animals have died. A glimpse into the disasters to come if we continue to do nothing to protect the climate. Direct victims or spectators of climate change, the young women of the Greta generation decided to bring an end to this chaos. How can new generations accept growing up in a world that adults are putting in danger? How can we live with the permanent threat of the next catastrophe? Without answers, these questions are warning bells to the world and its leaders.
Por mucho tiempo veíamos a la crisis climática como un oso polar en el peligro de extinción por los glaciares. Antes, cuando hablábamos de crisis climática y demás, era un problema del futuro. Ver esas imágenes te hacen dar cuenta que no es un problema del futuro, es un problema que ya está pasando y que ya está teniendo consecuencias.
From France to Australia, from Poland to the United States, the Greta generation is mobilizing in the face of these reoccurring disasters. It's September 2018 and school strikes for the climate are beginning. What are the youths fighting for? More effective world environmental policies.
Our Prime Minister thinks we should be in school right now, and maybe we should be. But how can we just sit by and not do anything to protect the future of this planet?
On Thursday or Friday, tens of thousands of students miss school to take part in demonstrations in support of action against global warming. 1 year later, mobilisation is at a record high. More than 4 million young people are marching in cities around the world.
Our generation really shouldn't have to be out here missing school. Yeah. We should be in school.
It's so empowering to see so many young people stand up, and finally we're feeling the position that we play, or the role that we play as young people in a larger picture. Now we are starting to see a narrative and a possibility where young people understand what it means to stand up for what they believe in, for what is right, and just go for it.
Et de voir tout d'un coup qu'on a la masse avec nous, que c'est pas juste un sujet de niche, des gens, des écolo-bobos dans leur coin qui agissent. Là, ça devenait vraiment public, quoi. Après ça, tous les mois, il y a eu d'autres marches pour le climat. Les médias ont commencé vraiment à s'approprier le sujet et les célébrités, des personnalités se sont emparées aussi du sujet. Et depuis, clairement, c'est presque inévitable maintenant, l'écologie.
In France, even before the start of the demonstrations, an event will shock young climate activists. At the end of August 2018, Nicolas Hulot, Minister of Ecological and Solidarity Transition, appointed by Emmanuel Macron, resigns.
Ma démission signifie une forme de résignation.
Le fait que le ministre de l'écologie démissionne en disant qu'il est incapable de faire bouger les choses de l'intérieur, c'est quelque chose de super marquant en fait. C'est dire que le politique actuellement n'est pas à la hauteur de l'enjeu climatique.
For the majority of these young women, the lack of decision-making by political leaders in the face of global warming is serious. This irresponsible behaviour has prompted many to take action, especially in the United States.